The relationship is over, but Newcastle beg to differ. Strasbourg's ultras are at war with Chelsea's owners. Alonso's Madrid are underway in La Liga, and a legendary football world record has just been accomplished. This is DMAC Daily. I can't lie, guys, I'm tired. This saga has been dominating the football media landscape for far too long now, in my opinion. Worst of all, I fear this messy breakup still has a long way to go. Although up until yesterday, we hadn't actually heard anything from the man at the center of it all, Alexander Isak. But following the news that he would snub the PFA Awards, despite being nominated for Player of the Season, Isak took to social to spill the beans. And wouldn't you know it, chaos ensued. Now, without microanalyzing every single word, basically, Isak claimed promises were broken and that the relationship can't continue. It can't go on like this, to which Newcastle clapped back saying it can, releasing their own public statement, which inadvertently reads as, "Shut up, Isak, we're calling the shots here." It's a bold strategy from both parties. Interestingly enough, we then got an exclusive story of this ordeal from the Daily Mail, which is a notoriously unreliable source, except for stories pertaining to Newcastle, with Craig Hope's reporting. This guy's like the Ornstein of Newcastle. Not sure why he's at the Daily Mail, but he explained that Isak's statement was a response to the growing concern that a summer move's becoming increasingly unlikely. However, in going public, it has only emboldened Newcastle's stance, and that, quote, "it will now slam that door shut on a potential move." Hope also reported that Isak's initial outrage was that the former co-owner was going to reward him with a pay rise, but she was ousted from leadership and the new sporting director in charge came in and refused to sanction an improved deal. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. As toxic as it gets, it's eerily similar to that of Gyökeres's situation. Just like Vis's, just like Lookman's. Moral of the story, which I've stated multiple times now, verbal agreements, gentlemen's agreements are worth nothing. If it's not in writing, forget about it. In other news relating to the PFA Awards, Mo Salah picked up Player of the Year off the back of a record-breaking Premier League campaign, as he became the first ever player to win the award 3 times. Meanwhile, Morgan Rogers was recognized as PFA Young Player of the Year after a breakout campaign for the Villains, registering 30 goal contributions in all competitions from midfield, beating the likes of Delap, Haugen, Kerkesh, Lewis Skelly, and Nwaneri to the award. 2 Forest players made the PFA Team of the Year. Shout out to the Oceania GOAT, aging like a fine wine. City's Trafford was recognized as the championship's best for last season. Meanwhile, in League One, this is an amazing story. 6 years ago, Richard Kone, aged 16, arrived in the UK for the Homeless World Cup representing the Ivory Coast. Fast forward to today, and he's just landed a multi-million-pound transfer off the back of a prolific season with Wickham and was awarded League One's PFA Player of the Season. Moving to French football news, and Strasbourg's Ultras have released a fresh statement reiterating their displeasure under Blueco's ownership umbrella. For those who are unaware, Strasbourg were acquired by Chelsea's owners Blueco back in 2023. In the following 12 months, there were frequent protests held by Strasbourg fans as a result of the poor on-field results, but more specifically, the youth recruitment initiative that they felt wasn't in the long-term interests of Strasbourg, but rather Chelsea. It became standard procedure to have 15 minutes of silence at home games to oppose their owners' policies, but as results drastically improved, many fans stopped voicing their concern. Strasbourg had assembled a remarkably talented young team after all, qualifying for Europe this season, and just this weekend became the first team in Europe's top 5 leagues to have a starting lineup where all the players were born in the 21st century. But the Ultras of Strasbourg, however, have an entirely different opinion of the club's trajectory. For over a year, they have demanded to meet with Blueco's management to voice their concerns and have been met with collective silence. Beyond that, they believe that despite the heavy investment and objective improvements in results, it has come at the detriment of the club's independence. The Ultras condemned multi-club ownership, saying it's a destructive logic that transforms historic clubs into interchangeable parts of a globalized portfolio. Sure, beforehand Strasbourg weren't a force in French football. They'd only qualified for Europe twice in their previous 50 years or so. But through the good and the bad, it was fundamentally their club, their community, their unique story for well over 100 years. But today, Strasbourg are a vital component of Chelsea's story. Think about it. Chelsea's brightest loanee prospects go to Strasbourg, where they're guaranteed game time to either boost their transfer value for a future sale or to return to Chelsea's first team in 12 months' time. They also poach the other talented young players who are contracted to Strasbourg. This is the insidious nature of multi-club ownership. Despite the financial benefit the feeder clubs may receive, it comes at the expense of their autonomy. So as a Chelsea fan, I can empathize with with Strasbourg's ultras. From a moral standpoint, they're 100% correct. Simultaneously, I don't blame Chelsea for going down this path. It's currently legal under the laws of FIFA and UEFA. These billionaire owners don't care about the ethical boundaries. Should it be legal? In my opinion, no. But that's modern day football for you. Moving to La Liga, and the Alonso era is properly underway with a 1-0 victory at the Bernabeu. Mbappe with the lone goal via a penalty, donning the number 10. Was it vintage Madrid? Absolutely not, but there were positives to take. Defensively, this was a different side. Courtois didn't lift a finger all game. The back four was so well drilled. Carreras and Haugen were class on debut. Trent less so, not a stinker and hooked, but still hooked. Mastantuono also made his debut off the bench and looked lively. Serious baller, that kid. And Arda Güler seems to have cemented his starting spot under Alonso. The clear negative, however, was the lack of creativity on display. I thought it was bad enough without Kroos, but no Modric either. That might be a problem. Granted, Bellingham was injured, but still, this was a painful watch. Mbappe and Vini are still experiencing the same problems. Vini in particular seemed devoid of confidence, but even more concerningly, Rodrigo remained an unused substitute. It appears he's now behind Mastantuono now in the pecking order. That's crazy. And finally, Fabio, the legendary Brazilian goalkeeper of Fluminense, has officially featured more than any other professional footballer in history, overtaking Peter Shilton to make his 1,391st appearance at 44 years of age. It's hard to believe that this guy's literally 5 years older than Wayne Rooney and has been playing professionally since the late 90s. In fact, the team he debuted for no longer exists, and his first trophy was back in 1997, winning the U17 World Cup with Brazil, the tournament Ronaldinho first appeared on the world stage. 28 years later though, he's now made history for Fluminense in their round of 16 Copa Sudamerica triumph, keeping a clean sheet in the process. All that's left to complete this iconic career is a Brazil call-up. Don Carlo, please make it happen. He'll be 45 in a month's time. He is football heritage and legit deserves a call-up. Anyways guys, that's all for today's DMAC Daily. If you love the show, please make sure to like, subscribe, and feel free to check out the Patreon while you're at it. We're building something special here. See you tomorrow.